Day 3, this one time we ahead of schedule though. Let me get my coffee. Welcome back, beloved. If you're new to this channel, I am the Blue Mantic, aka Mr. Manic, aka Blue, aka MC Nebeski, aka that's right. We're on a 60-day journey, communicating with each other to find our community outside of our immediate circles, because I believe that there's a plethora of us as individuals, especially as millennials, at the stage of starting over from zero. Just to give you a little background, if you did not see the other videos, I am now back in Texas, which is my home state, from living in Poland and Europe for the past 10 years. And I had to get rid of everything. But I've been here before. I've been homeless in New York before. So this video is for everybody who has either been through that phase, going through that phase, or trying to figure out what to do next, because starting from zero is terrifying. I think I might not be enjoying nature. I think I just stepped in an ant pile trying to film content. But I pivot. Let me just double check so I don't. You guys can hear me from all the way over here as well. Yeah, starting over is not just risky, it's terrifying. It's terrifying, but there's an inner battle within yourself and your soul, your heart, your mind, your spirit. Everything's telling you that's what you want, but the world around you is convincing you that that's not what you want to do. That's not a good idea. Because if you lose everything around you, then technically who are you and what are you? We get so caught up in our identities and who we are that we lose sight of our true self, and we begin to continue over time creating this mask that we wear to be able to live and survive into this reality in which we think is starting to look like the Matrix. Tell me you haven't had a time where you wanted to do something and somebody told you that's not a good idea, but you knew that that's what you wanted to do, and you unfortunately were not aware that if you shared it with the person who didn't have the like mind and the same frequency, then you wouldn't be able to connect with that person ever again. I've lost friends. I've lost friends on this journey where I thought that they were going to be here forever. To be really honest with you, the only people who have been here still, and even if they aren't on the same frequency or like minded, are my family. I haven't felt judged. I haven't felt ridiculed. I've been questioned, but questioned in a way where I feel like it was respected and they were actually appreciating getting to know me. You will be uncomfortable when you lose everything. But when you have nothing, imagine what that feels like. The responsibility to keep up with the facade and with the Joneses and having all this stuff and having this identity and having these titles and this role. When you lose that, then you're in the void. You're in this space of rebirth, like a baby just coming out of the mother's womb. And the only thing that it hears is sound and sees light. And the first thing we do is we name it. We give it a name. Its gender is self-evident based on the parts that it has. And it's not that we give it an identity and a role, but we kind of put it in the form of what it should possibly be steered towards when it comes to information and guidance. You wouldn't raise a boy like you raise a girl. You wouldn't raise a girl like you raise a boy. I get that. But I think on a human level, a lot of us weren't raised right. And I say us because I don't know. There are some things that I feel are ingrained in my identity, even after healing, that may be a little, difficult to release and let go of because it's been a part of my upbringing. And I think that a lot of us who are tied to this things, this religion, this traditions, these things, this stuff, lose it all. Lose it all. Be formless. Be water, my friend. That was my impression of Bruce Lee. Be like water. Now the answer's gonna be wilding because I just gave him some. Woo! So when I was in Poland during 2020, I don't know if anybody else had a similar situation. I'm pretty sure you did. Um, you were stripped of whatever plans and whatever ideas you had for your future and the plans you had at the moment. We were swept off our feet. The rug was right under us. And for you to understand the severity of what I experienced, I was an independent music artist, sole proprietor company, freelance, artistic individual. I'm saying creative, but artistic is mostly where I was making my money. So nightlife, live performances, outside gigs and being around people was my source of income, was my primary source. And at that age, I was still maybe 29, 30. I was unaware of, yeah, I was 30. I was unaware of how dangerous it is to have a one source of income. But when you are, again, raised from a low income family, you don't understand that multiple sources of income is the way to go. And you don't know how to create that kind of form of income. I lost everything. I wasn't able to go outside and perform. I wasn't able to see the people that I usually see to create. It was really hard to go to studios because we were unable to go outside. And here's the cherry on top of the icing, because the icing isn't just the fact that I was in another country with another form of language and way of thinking. I was alone. I was alone. Now, I say alone in a sense for you to get how being individualistic can be dangerous. And at that time, I wasn't aware that I was starting to become a version of myself that opened up enough to create community, to create a sense of trust with the people around me and building the relationships from friendships to being a tribe. We were internationals in that city. And that's how I found my lady. Because during my darkest hour, I didn't ask for her assistance. She offered it and I denied it because sometimes the masculine and the feminine is unbalanced, and it's really easy for me to give and sometimes really hard for me to receive. And then sometimes it's really hard for me to give anything and really easy for me to say, all right, go ahead, give it to me. So if you're at the stage of losing everything, whether it's a divorce, whether if you lost your job, because right now they're doing government cuts, they're doing a lot of the government shutdown, people are losing jobs. You've lost a lot of money that you may have invested. You may have lost a home, something that you owned. You may have lost something that you had already previously in your existence and it no longer exists anymore and you can't get it back. You may have lost a loved one, somebody you care about. When you lose things, I feel like, and I'm being very cautious about how I express this so that you can understand it on a deeper level than what I'm saying with my words. It's an opportunity to allow you to seek change.